Thank you so much for having me here today with you all this morning. I am Heather Duncan. I am the Chief Strategy Officer at the World Institute on Disability. I have worked with WID since 2018, and I took over the DB101 program for WID last year. And since then, I have been delivering trainings on DB101 across the country. And it has been a wonderful experience. I did a few trainings last year, especially for California. And I'm excited to be here with you all today, especially since so many of you have not heard of Disability Benefits 101. So you're probably asking exactly what is it? So California Disability Benefits 101 is a user-friendly online tool designed specifically to help people understand how work, benefits, and healthcare really interact without all the guesswork or fear. So here's what DB101 does. It offers trusted tools and resources to make that complex benefits information more understandable. It eases fears for individuals who are worried about losing income or health care if they try to work. It empowers people and their families to explore employment without risking everything. And most importantly, it supports informed decision making, which leads to more confident steps towards financial independence. Now, you do not need to memorize all the rules or become a technical expert. You just need to know that DB101 is here to help you and the people you serve navigate the system with clarity and confidence. Now, whether you're working with someone just starting their first job or if you're navigating a benefits change or you're trying to plan for your long-term stability. California DB 101 is built to support those journeys. So we're going to explore all of those features inside of the website. I saw some people asking about slides. I am not going to show you a bunch of slides today. We are physically going to be in the website together. I'm going to be in there. You do not need to go there. You can go check it out and play around in that sandbox later. All right, and with that, I am going to share my screen to go into the site because we don't have a ton of time together. So I want to spend most of my time here inside of the site helping you all learn about DB101. All right. So what you see here on my screen is the National DB101 page right now. All right. So these are the states that DB101 is available in at the moment. But because we are here in California, I'm going to click on California, and that is going to take me to the California site. I'm not going to answer the survey right now for California DB101. We'll worry about that later. All right. So here we are on the California Disability Benefits 101 page. And just to let you all know, DB 101 is over 20 years old. And California was actually the very first DB 101 state. So it has been there for you guys for a very long time. So I'm going to walk you through the website, the estimators, and the features that are here. So this is a fully accessible site, and I'm going to try to make sure I am telling you where things are, just as I am showing people where things are. We're going to start over on the right hand of our screen where there is a button to register. I do this because one of the important things about DB101 is that you're able to go back in and look at your estimator sessions if you do them when you're signed in. You're also able to save articles, save your favorite tools, and be able to access them. Now, we don't keep any private personal information. We don't share it with anyone. The government does not have access to this website. The California DB101 site is maintained by a private foundation. And .org tells you right there that a nonprofit runs the website. So when you register, you put in your email address, you create a password, and you have to confirm that password. You'll also see here where you can put in your organization. And now that is whether you work for one of the organizations listed here or you can put other provider. It doesn't matter if you are not a provider. You can be a family member, you can be yourself, it can be anyone. Th these options were put here a long time ago. So you can choose any of them or none of them. And then you have to verify that you're human because these days we have to do that. One, and then hit submit. I will tell you this. We go so far as to not collect personal information that you can put a fake email address in here. That's fine. You'll still be able to log in, but if you lose your password, you're out of luck. I can't reset your password. No one's going to be able to get to it because the email address isn't real. So we don't go through an email verification process. So we don't send you emails because you signed up. All right. So I'm going to close this out because I am already registered. And once you're registered and when you come back to the website, you hit sign in, and I am going to sign in with my email address and password. And then the sign in page is also, if you've forgotten your password, you can reset it here or it also will lead you back to registering if you need to do that. So I'm going to just use my finger here, my fingerprint to get me logged in. And I am now logged in. All right, you'll see right here where it used to have the login. It says my email address, which is heather@wid.org. This website is also fully in Spanish. You'll see right here next to where my email address is, it says en español. The site, this, if you click on this, this goes to the fully Spanish version of the site. It is not a translation of this site. It is a fully Spanish site, meaning that it was written separately in Spanish. And actually, when I look at my analytics, I get analytics for the English site and one for the Spanish site. It is not the same site. Because, when we're talking about idioms and the way the way people say things, just a translation without doing the site in Spanish would not provide proper context for people. So, the advantage is the Spanish site is written the same way the English site is written, and that is in plain language. So it's easy for the end user to understand. All right. Especially when we're talking about something as complicated as benefits, right? Okay. You'll see here we are in California. It says California right here. If I hit this caret, it's going to drop down all the available states as well as the national site. It also on the left-hand side here says Disability Benefits 101, and we are in California. Right. Now we are going to work ourselves down the home page and then across the tabs. Okay. So as we move down the home page, you'll see our first block of content here is articles about work and benefits. There are 3 highlighted articles here, and if you click on all work and benefits, it's going to take you to all of the articles. And we will go into work and benefits when we go into that tab. The next block of content has our the 3 large estimators that are available for California DB 101. The benefits and work estimator, which we're going to go all the way through today, the school and work estimator, and the Medi-Cal for the working disabled estimator. All right. And because I'm signed in and I have sessions, you'll see here it says get a save session because I have logged in before. All right. The next block of content are articles on cash and health programs. And you'll see the 3 highlighted articles here. Learn about Medi-Cal, supplemental security income, and then the third one is Social Security disability insurance, our 2 big federal programs here. All right. The next block is for about youth. And there's 3 highlighted articles here for youth. And what you'll notice when we go to the youth section is there's a side for youth, articles for youth, and then a side of articles for their parents. which we'll look at that in just a second. Also, here in the news section, this is where you will find news about what's happening across the nation and across and in California in benefits. There hasn't been a news update for California or nationally. We haven't put anything in since March. We depend on people to send those items to us, or if it's a major update in benefits nationally. Now, importantly, down here on the bottom of our screen, our footer menu, you'll see the About section, which is going to give you a little bit of information about WID, as well as our partners, Echo Northwest and Eightfold Way, who are both in California. But here's where it's really cool, this glossary right here. Now, if you work in benefits, you're going to take for granted that everyone knows what you're talking about, right? But if you don't, if you're new to the benefits world, or you're a parent, or just a person existing in the world with a disability, you're not going to know every single acronym or every single program. So this glossary is here to help you navigate that. So you'll notice when you're on the website, these blue highlighted words, and that's going to take you to the definition in the glossary. Because, something like the 1619B, if someone looks at you and says, well, you qualify this for because of 1619B. You don't know what that means. You don't know where that came from. Luckily, DB 101 it can help you understand what that is. Now, as you're going through, you'll also see words, hyperlinks that are in blue with a square and an arrow. And that means that's going to take you out of DB 101. So, this says ask your local Social Security office. So this is going to take you to that link about where the local Social Security office is. All right, so this is our glossary. It's very comprehensive. It's one of my favorite things on the website. All right. So we went all the way through that. You'll also notice that our Get Help button is going to follow us to every single page. And when we click on our Get Help button, we can, if we're having trouble in SSI and SSDI, we click the plus button, and it's going to give us a list of different phone numbers and links we can reach out to on different topics. Because, DB 101 is a wonderful product and it gives you a lot of information, but it's not meant to replace benefits planners or people working in the industry. It's meant to be a companion and to help you all work, everyone work together. All right, so I am gonna go to the tab because I don't want us to run out of time. So I am just gonna go through this website because I really want us to get into an estimator. All right, so under work and benefits, we have our articles on work and benefits. So the first block up here, highlighted article on programs that support work. On the left-hand side, we have articles about going to work. We have getting past the myths, the truth about working. Um, and you go through here and you bust these 7 myths about why people cannot go to work. And even right here, you can see, because we are constantly updating the DB 101 sites with information, you'll see that this article was just updated on June 30th, 2026. All right. I'm going to go back to work and benefits and scroll down. So we got an article, Finding the Right Job for You, knowing your rights and responsibilities, because that's one of the things, knowing that you have rights as a worker is just as important as knowing that you also have responsibilities as an employee. Article on job supports and accommodations, as well as workplace personal assistance, programs that support work, and Social Security's Ticket to Work program. So it's very comprehensive information. And even over here on the right-hand side, we have articles about money. So, these articles are all about building your assets and wealth, ABLE accounts, helping you understand those individual development accounts, the earned income tax credit, and even past plans. And there's even a little past estimator here. I'm going to go back up to the top and I'm going to click on programs. And before we try the benefits and work estimator, I want to show you the cash benefits articles and the health coverage. So right here on the side with cash benefits, you see our supplemental security income article, our SSDI article, the California State Disability Insurance article, short-term disability, etc. And then over here in health coverage, there are the different healthcare plans that you can look at to see about qualifications and also which one is best for you. So when you go into the healthcare articles, you're going to have a chance to put in your information and see which ones are likely to fit you best. All right. One of the things about this, about navigating, is it's always easy to get back to where you were. You can also put in a search up here in this search bar at the top. Like if you want to know about Medicaid, you can type in Medicaid and it's going to pull up all the articles that talk about Medicaid. All right. Now we are going to go ahead and go into the benefits and work estimator because I want to be able to fully walk you all through that. So, the benefits and work estimator is great for understanding how a job is going to impact your your benefits that you receive as well as your health care. Okay. You can see here because I'm logged in, this is one of my favorite tools. And right here it says one of my favorites. It's an easy click on and off to add it to my favorites. I can also email it to someone or print out what I've done here. This blue button is for sending in issues that you see on the website. We won't go through that today, but that is where you would leave feedback. All right, so who is this for? This benefits and work estimator is for people who are 18 to 64 who are using public disability benefits who live in California. All right. It says it's going to take 20 to 30 minutes. It won't take us this long because I've done this tons of times now. And will your information be kept private? Yes. We don't share it with anyone. In fact, you're going to notice that we ask no personal identifying information here. It's all information that no one would know who we were talking about. Um, there's one thing that's the most personal, and we're going to get to that soon. So the first part is going to ask you about your household information. So I'm going to put in July, California training. And then the next question is what month and year were you born? I'm going to put '09, my real year of birth. Do your own math there. But that's literally the most personal information that is asked on here. Now, what is your citizenship status? Put in U.S. citizen. The next question is, do you have an official disability determination from the Social Security Administration or the state? I am going to say yes, I have a disability determination because if I said not yet or no for any reason, it's going to tell me that this estimator is not for me, even though those are options here. Now, there's also yes, I have been determined blind, but some of you may know or not know being determined blind is the only disability where the numbers will change. All right, the numbers for how much you receive, as well as the amount of that's considered substantial gainful activity, and also the number of things that count as impairment-related work expenses, and the subsidies and things like that that will bring your income down or differ for a person that is blind. That is the only disability where that is true. All right, I'm going to hit continue. And then it's going to ask me about these programs that says they're not covered. So it asks about CalWorks, a PASS plan, and are you on workers' compensation? I'm going to say no to all of those for ease of this session. And then I'm going to hit continue. Then it's going to ask me more household information. Are you married and living with your spouse? I'm going to say no for this exercise. The next question is how many children do you and your spouse have who are under 21 and who live with you? I'm also going to keep that at 0. That's the last question on this page, so I'm going to hit continue. Now it's going to ask me about my living situation. All right. The options here are licensed board and care, a shared home, like with roommates, my own place, or someone else's place? I am going to say my own place. I do want to point out something because this has come up in several sessions. Even if your adult child lives with a family member or their parent, that is a shared home or someone else's place. It is not uh, because they are now an adult under the adult disability standard. Okay. And the next question is going to see why I say that. All right. Do you pay at least your fair share of the household expenses? It's trying to gauge how much you are paying for your living situation. So I put yes, but maybe you don't know what fair share means. All right. If I click this blue question mark that you've seen at the right-hand side of every single question, it's going to help me understand what fair share means. So fair share is your household expenses include food, rent, mortgage, property taxes, heating, gas, electricity, water, and you figure out your fair share by dividing that total amount of household expenses by the number of people in your home. All right. Now, does your home have cooking facilities? I'm going to put yes. If you're unsure what that means, again, you can click the little blue circle with the question mark and they'll tell you what qualifies. All right. So, what is the amount of the rent or mortgage you pay each month? I'm going to put in 1,000 for purposes of this exercise. All right. And then we all know that's a very low amount, but do you get help from a housing program is the next question. There are several answers to choose from here about different housing programs that are available in California. There's even an option that says yes, but it is not listed here. I am going to leave that at no. No programs help pay for my housing. And the reason for that is I like to show uh, the ways that if you're not receiving a benefit that may be available to you, DB 101 will point that out. All right. If I had said yes, it would have asked me how much my monthly housing subsidy is. Now I'm going to hit continue. And now it's going to ask me about my current income. So how much monthly income do you get from the following sources? All right. So with supplemental security income, I'm going to put in $9.94 per month. And for Social Security disability insurance, that SSDI, I'm going to put in 250. All right. And then for childhood disability benefits, I'm going to leave that at 0. Now, with California State Disability Insurance, it's asking how much you get per week. I'm going to also leave that at 0. The next question is private short-term and long-term disability insurance. I'm also going to leave that at 0. CalFresh, I will leave that at 0. Any unearned income not counted by SSI, I'm also going to leave that at 0. And then other unearned income counted by SSI, I'm going to leave that at 0. Again, that sounds confusing. So the blue circle with the question mark can help you understand what those questions mean. I usually go through all that in a longer training where I've got a couple of hours. Just to let you know, those are very hard questions to understand what they're asking for. So always look at the blue, click on that blue circle with the question mark to find out what they're really asking. Now I'm going to hit continue and it's going to go to my next page. And now we're going to talk about my recent work. All right. Have you worked at all since January 1st, 2026? I'm going to say no. All right. If I had, it would let me answer the question, did I have any net income from self-employment since January 1, 2026? All right. Now I'm going to hit continue and then I'm going to go here where it's going to give me a little refresher on SSDI and work. And I'm going to let you all can go back and read that later. But I'm going to hit continue. And now it's going to start asking me about my SSDI, my childhood disability benefits, and work. All right. First question, have you completed all 9 of your trial work months allowed under your current SSDI or child disability benefit? I'm going to say no. because the next tool is really cool in this. And what was your last SSDI or childhood disability benefit trial work month would pop up and we would put that in. But it's grayed out because we said no. All right, now I'm going to hit continue. And now it's going to ask me about those trial work months. Now, trial work months can be confusing. So we have this little mini tool within the estimator that's not going to let you choose time period about your 9 trial work months outside of the time period. So you'll see here, if I go back to 2021, it's not going to let me choose any month before August of 2021. It's also going to let me know what that earned income would have been that would have triggered that trial work month period in 2021. That was $940. All right. So even if we go to 2024, I've got the whole year available, but you can see in 2024 that threshold for how much you earned was 1,110. And then I can click months that I earned above that. It's going to go ahead and start counting those down here for me. So you'll see 2 trial months selected, June 2024 and July 2024. All right. If I go over here to 2026, you'll see that the threshold for 2026 is 1,210. I do want to point out that the SGA threshold, that substantial gainful activity threshold, and the trial and the amount of money that triggers a trial work month are not the same. They are two different numbers. And the trial work month is lower than the SGA number. Okay, just want to let you know. I think SGA, I don't have all my notes in front of me. I think it's 1690 for 2026, but the trial work month for SSDI is triggered by $1,210 in earnings. All right, I'm going to hit continue. Now it's going to tell me, it's going to ask me about my healthcare coverage. Now, what you're seeing here is I've put in some information, so it's going to guess, it's guessing, or not really, I wouldn't call it a guess. It's supposing that I have no cost in Medi-Cal and Medicare because of the information, because of the benefits I've received and the information I put in about myself. There are other choices here that I could check, like Medi-Cal with a share cost, Medi-Cal WDP, Medicare Medi-Cal plan. I could even put in private individual health coverage that I've bought, coverage through a spouse, or Cobra or Obra. All right, and if you chose Cobra or Obra, you would be able to say when the last month and year you would receive that is. All right, now that I've got my health information in there, it's got no cost, Medi-Cal, and Medicare checked off for me. I'm going to leave those as they are. And now I'm going to hit continue. And now I have a chance to confirm my status or edit it. Also, if I'm logged in, I could stop right now. I could stop at any time and come back and finish. But if I needed to stop right now, I could, and all of my information would be in here. Again, none of it's private, personal. No one's going to know who you are. All right. And I can edit any of these blocks if I've accidentally typed the wrong thing. Now I'm going to hit continue, and it's going to ask me to create a plan about my future employment. Then I'm going to hit continue again, so it actually starts asking me about my plan. All right, in this plan, will you have any income from work? I'm going to say yes, and then hit continue. And it says, Plan A, your work expenses. How much will you claim in monthly impairment-related work expenses, or those IRWEs? You will report these to Social Security. Now, you do not have to calculate these on your own. If you hit the hyperlink here that says help me calculate, we're going to bounce out to a calculator to help you calculate all of your IRWEs. Now, this is great because I've heard from a lot of people, they're intimidated by IRWEs. They don't know how to submit them. I know that process isn't easy. Social Security Administration hasn't made it super easy. But within DB 101, you can actually go through this list and see if you actually have any of these, like monthly transportation costs or medical device costs that occur every month that you're paying out of pocket for, that you could uh, submit as your impairment-related work expenses. Now, for purposes of this exercise, I'm going to put in 100 for medical device costs and 150 for prescription drug costs. All right. And you'll see here that it has totaled my IRWs for me. So it's totaled it up here to 250. When I hit use this result, it is going to pop it back into our estimator for us. So you'll see here the 250 is right back here where we're supposed to put our IRWs. All right. Now, the next question is going to ask us about childcare. Do we have any childcare expenses? We just said we didn't have any kids, so we should not have any childcare expenses. I'm going to leave that at 0. All right. Next question, how much in other expenses would you have to spend each month because of your work in this plan? Do not include ROEs. Again, I urge you, if you're not sure what to put here, you would want to click on the blue button with the question mark. I'm going to leave it at 0 and hit continue. Now we're going to put in the job. All right, so we have to add a job that we're looking at taking. All right, so I'm just going to call this summer of 2026 CA. All right. The next one is when will be our first full month of the job. Now, I can't put in last month and I can't put in this. Well, I can put in last. I can put in June. Sorry. I cannot put in July because it does not count a partial month. It needs to be the full month. So let's just say I'm going to not start my job until August of 2026, and I have in here 8/2026. All right. In this job, will I be self-employed for purposes of exercise? We're going to say no. Next up, we're going to put in our details of what we're going to get paid and what benefits we're going to receive. All right, so what's the easiest way for us to tell how much we'll make? We can base it on the amount you'll make. So I'm going to put an hour. There are other choices here, a day, a week, every 2 weeks, twice a month. Will I have access to group health care coverage through my employer? For purposes of this exercise, I'm going to say no. If we'd said yes, it would have asked us how much it will be. Or no, sorry, not how much it'll be. How many months we'll have to work before we become eligible for it. Sometimes you start a day and, it takes 90 days. All right. I'm going to hit continue, and then it's going to ask about our hourly wage. So if I put in here that I'm receiving $20 an hour, all right, how many hours of work am I working per week? I'm going to put 40. This is a full-time job at 20. Actually, I'm going to up this. I know the minimum wage rate in California is 16.90. So I'm going to move this to 28. Oops, that's 38. 28. All right. $28 per hour, 40 hours per week. The next question is how much will you make in tips per hour? I'm going to leave that at 0. And how much will you make in other earned income per hour? I'm also going to leave that at 0. Now I'm going to hit continue. Now I get another chance to confirm and edit my plan. I'm going to go ahead and move through this and hit continue. All right. And now we're going to get our results. So here's where things get interesting. All right. So let's look at today. Here I am today where I have SSI and SSDI. All right. My max that I am getting every month from those two is 1,244. Now I take this job and I'm going to be bringing in from my work income $4,872. Now my SSI completely went to 0, right? All right, my SSDI is still 250. And then in 2 years, I've lost both of those, but I am still financially better off. I am well above what I was making. So let's look at that. Now, what DB 101 does is it shows you what's available to you and what is going to change for you. So today, I've got Medicare, free Medi-Cal, and no-cost Medi-Cal, or Medi-Cal's working disabled program, depending on how many resources, because there's the resource limit change this year. And in 6 months, I will still have Medicare, Medicare Part D subsidy, and free Medi-Cal. All right. So I'm not losing health care. All right. I will still have my health care. All right. So and also it says right here, the estimator thinks you qualify for more benefits today. There are programs I'm missing out on considering my income and where I'm at in life. All right. And my income is going to be higher to And then my no-cost Medi-Cal will continue as long as I don't go above that resource limit. All right. If I no longer qualify for that Medicare savings program, it could, it's going to give us pitfalls too. I could stop getting help paying for those Medicare premiums or other expenses. And it even tells me who to contact to talk to that about. All right. And that my benefit will go to zero. But also, I may qualify for CalFresh. All right. And who to reach out for that. So, the other really awesome thing is the timeline, which is going to walk you through every single income, healthcare, and to do that you're going to need. If you take this job, what's going to happen to you every month? It's going to walk you through all of your trial work months. If you're receiving SSDI, and let you know when the extended period of eligibility starts and when your grace period starts, all the way through. And it takes you all the way through, for this one, February of 2030. All right. And then, even cooler, it gives you a look at your expenses for the month, um, and shows you even, if you're not used to seeing payroll taxes come out, et cetera, that is in here too. Okay. Now, this is an estimate. That doesn't mean it's going to be down to the penny, but it is an estimate. There's even a section here that gives you next steps. So, you know, you need to know what benefits you are receiving. So you can either find that out from mysocialsecurity.gov or by requesting your BPQI. All right. Okay, so that's the benefits and work estimator. It's really good, especially for someone who is looking at leaving or taking a job and worried about what's going to happen to their benefits. You also should know that you don't, even though you may lose your benefits during that time period, you have a 5-year window where you do not have to reapply. There's expedited reinstatement. All right. Okay, so before we run out of time, I want to show you, here are the youth and parent articles, and there's also a school and work estimator for youth, which has some similar questions. And you've got articles here for young people and their benefits, and helping parents ease the fears of parents for a child who maybe wants to go to college or is looking at taking that first job as a teen, and helping them understand what will happen with the benefits for their young person. And also, there's a parent focused article on that transition time when that child turns 18. Um, so there is something here for through all of the stages of life, through work, youth and work and benefits. The under my DB 101, if you're signed in, you'll have access to that. That is where you'll find any articles you favorite or previous estimator sessions. And you can see in past estimator sessions and even Medi-Cal. And now you can play around in these estimators as much as you want to. Go through these articles and really look at the different sections of the articles. There are scenarios that you can walk through about what's happened to someone's benefits as they went to work, just to give a little bit of story to it. So that's DB 101. I wanted to make sure I showed you all at least one estimator session, but don't be afraid to run your own and run as many as you want. All right. Thank you so much for having me today. I appreciate you all.
And with that, welcome Tina Martinez to talk about DOR's Benefits to Independence 101.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Heather. Thank you, Morgan, for the introduction. Again, my name is Tina Martinez, also known as the Q&A girl. If you were asking questions in the Q&A, that was me answering those for you. So hopefully you guys can see my presentation and hear me okay. Okay, so now that you've seen the DB 101 website, learned how awesome it is, I'm here to share another tool, one that DOR designed specifically for people receiving Social Security disability benefits who want to understand how work and benefits fit together. So imagine you get that job, you're feeling excited, and then anxious, right? So instead of guessing, we know you can go to that DB101 website, but you can go straight to the Benefits to Independence 101 course and learn exactly what steps you need for reporting your wages, things that you need to do, what work incentives can help. And you can learn all of this at your own pace and without pressure. So Benefits to Independence 101 was created for you. You as the beneficiary, you as the family member, or as the service provider, and anyone who supports you and your employment goals. So many people have heard that, if you work, you automatically lose those benefits. And of course, that creates fear, hesitation. And we designed this course to break down all those misconceptions and replace it with knowledge and confidence. So to start, let's take a look at what the Benefits to Independence 101 course actually is. It is a free, structured, self-paced online curriculum. It is designed to make the complicated subject of Social Security disability benefits feel clear and manageable. So the course includes easy to follow learning materials, beginning with a general module for everyone that explains those core concepts about disability benefits and work. Then you would move into either the Supplemental Security Income or SSI module, or the Social Security Disability Insurance or SSDI module, depending on the benefits that you receive. So the goal is to give you clear, simple information that you can understand your benefits, you can explore work confidently, and you can take control of your path to independence. Now, now that you know what the course is, let's talk about why it matters. So one of the biggest challenges for people receiving SSI or SSDI is that fear and that confusion about how work might affect their benefits. And the rules can feel overwhelming, and most people just don't know where to start. So this course is designed to change all that. It breaks everything down in a clear, simple way so that you can understand your benefits and your choices and then feel confident to move forward. So as you move through the sessions, you'll learn how the rules actually work and not the myths that you may have heard from others. You see that there are the protections built in, those work incentives that'll help, and that there are ways to work and earn money and keep those supports that you need and rely on. So that alone can remove a lot of that stress and uncertainty, right? But the course does more than just explain the disability benefits and the rules that are attached to them. It helps you become more informed and prepared so that you can make those decisions about going to work based on the facts and not that fear. So those tools you can return to whenever something in your life changes, like you get that first job, or you finally make it back to work, your work hours increase, or if you're just planning for the future. And maybe most importantly, completing this course gives you the power to advocate for yourself. You're going to understand your own situation better. You'll know what questions to ask, and you'll be able to recognize when something doesn't seem right. You may even feel confident enough to help others in your life who also receive benefits and may be struggling with those same worries. At the very least, you can guide them to take this course as well. So the overall goal of the Benefits to Independence 101 course is to make you feel more secure, more informed, and more in control of your path, whether you're thinking about work or simply want to clarify for the future. So I want to highlight a few of the key features to the Benefits to Independence 101 course, because that'll really help bring everything together. So the course includes several helpful features that make learning easier and more accessible. So one of the biggest benefits of the course is that it's available anytime online through the Department of Rehabilitation website. So that means you can learn at your own pace, whether that's doing a full session at once or taking it in small chunks when you have the time. And this flexibility is especially important for those who have limited energy or focus, maybe a fluctuating schedule, or maybe you just need the information presented in a manageable format when you're ready for it. So the course has simple structure. You have learning objectives, you have videos, activities, and resources. So this allows you to build that knowledge step by step and gradually increase your understanding of how benefits and work can fit together. Another feature people appreciate is the inclusion of success stories. So there's real life examples of individuals who have worked and used those available work incentives correctly and succeeded in moving towards that greater independence. So there's a lot of misinformation or fear-based messages out there about losing benefits. So seeing these real world stories can completely shift the mindset from I can't to I actually can. The course also connects learners to trusted external resources. So for example, there are links to the Social Security Administration's Red Book, which is like their Bible, to various pages throughout the DB 101 website and to other benefit related websites. So the course serves as a guided path that helps you use these external resources and websites without feeling lost or unsure where to start. And that was intentional. The course was designed so that at each step you have something that makes information more clear, easier to understand, and less intimidating. So in each session of the course, the steps are the same and they're easy to follow. Why would we use the DB 101 website and the DOR Benefits to Independence 101 course together? Well, since Heather gave us that overview of the DB 101 website, I want to show you how the Benefits to Independence 101 course fits alongside it. The two tools really complement each other. So DB 101 you saw gives us the big picture. It explains the disability programs, the rules. It's got the calculators and estimators, and it lets you explore different work and benefit scenarios. So you can think of it as like your big library of all the information you could need about disability benefits and the other programs and resources that are available to people with disabilities. Benefits to Independence 101 takes that same information, breaking it down into small, manageable pieces. And the course is designed for anyone who wants to learn by having some structure, along with some added audio and video aspects, and those activities that reinforce what you just learned. Or if you just want to ease into a topic without being overwhelmed. So you will see the DB 101 website referenced throughout the Benefits to Independence 101 course because using both gives you a really strong foundation of knowledge, again, to help you confidently move forward with employment planning. So what you're going to do in 101 is look at the learning objectives so you know what each session is going to cover. Then you'll watch a short video anywhere from 5 to 14 minutes where the information is explained in plain language. After that, you work through any of the assigned activities or reflection exercises to help you apply the information to your own situation. Sessions also include a resource guide that summarizes the key points from the video so you don't have to worry about, taking all those detailed notes while you're watching. It's all laid out there for you. Those resource guides help break down the information even further, and they're written in that same plain language, just like the videos, so they're easy to understand even if you revisit them later. So for many people, having those materials that you can return to rather than trying to remember everything can make a huge difference in how you learn and how you feel. So these practical tools, you can save them, print them. The guides link you back to those trusted resources like DB 101. And then when you're done, you can go on to the next session or you can call it quits for the day. It's totally up to you how fast you want to progress through the course. So it can take, an hour or less per session, but you're going to move at whatever pace works best for you. So now that you have a sense of how the course works, we're going to look at when people find it most helpful. So Benefits to Independence 101 can be used at many points in your journey. There's no wrong time to start. It can be especially helpful during those employment planning thoughts or before you really even begin a job search, because then you'll go in having all that foundational information to make that informed decision about what you want your employment situation to actually look like. You're going to know exactly how work is going to affect your benefits and what steps you're going to need to take to protect them. The course can also be helpful after receiving a job offer, so you learn what to expect with this new development of your personal situation. But basically, anytime that questions arise about work and benefits, this course is there to provide you with that reliable guidance. And when the need arises for individualized benefit planning, a work incentive planner or WIP at the DOR can help you with that next step, whatever that happens to be for you. If you haven't already connected with a WIP, you can ask your DOR counselor for a referral. And if you're not currently a DOR consumer, you can reach out to your local Work Incentive Planning and Assistance Project or WIPA project and receive help from a benefits planner. So to wrap it up, here's what you need to do to get started. You can begin with Module 1. That's the general module to build that foundational knowledge, and then move into the module that applies to your benefit type. So Module 2 if you're SSI, Module 3 if you receive SSDI. Of course, if you're a concurrent beneficiary, meaning you receive both SSI and SSDI benefits, you're going to complete all modules. So the knowledge builds gradually as you complete the sessions. And by the time you complete the course, you won't just understand the rules surrounding your benefits, you'll understand your benefits and how they fit into your goals. You'll know how to make those decisions with confidence, and you'll have the tools that you can use again and again when things change in your life. Because change is constant, right? We know that. So taking this course can completely change how you feel about working. Instead of worrying about what you don't know, you feel informed and organized and ready to move forward. And it's really great because you can take what you learn and share it with others, the friends, the family members, or anyone you know that's on disability benefits and trying to figure all of this out. So if you're someone who wants that clear information, less stress, more control, right, over the future, this course is a great place to start. Everything is laid out step by step. Materials were made to be easy to understand, and you can go at that pace that works for you. So I really encourage you to jump in and explore it for yourself. You might be surprised at how much clarity and confidence you gain and how much more possible your goals start to feel once you have this knowledge. Um, so your independence starts here, right? And your future starts now. So I talked about this. If you haven't already jumped in to check it out, this is available on the DOR website, which is www.dor.ca.gov. So if you haven't already checked out our DOR website, on the screen here is the main page, and you can locate the Benefits to Independence 101 course right in the middle section of the page under the DOR Spotlight section. And then for additional information and resources, you can also click on the Programs for Social Security Beneficiaries link, which is underneath it, and keep exploring. It's got tons of information, anything and everything you could need. So give it a shot, check it out. And I appreciate your time and just keep exploring and keep learning. Thank you.